Okay, here we go again. Parker is on a roll, being wrong, objectively. So let's get into this again.
Stuff.
Some hella stuff. What does that mean?
We won't talk about it. It's a freedom of speech. I could say it at my house. I can't say it in front of people because apparently it's not a freedom of speech.
Free speech does not mean free from consequences. Okay,
That's where he's wrong. That's where he's wrong about how freedom of speech should be, or how freedom of speech was supposed to be. Every individual has the ethical right to speak without fear of punishment or retribution for words alone, provided those words do not directly cause harm, because moral responsibility lies with those who choose to act, not those who merely express ideas, since words that can be ignored, walked away from, or disregarded do not force tangible harm. Suppressing them infringes on autonomy, stifles honest expression, and violates the principle that people should be free to exercise their thoughts while others retain the agency to accept, reject, or ignore them. So there you go. He's wrong again, objectively. But societies don't work on objective facts, they work on subjective truths. Meaning, if I feel like this person's words is harming me, I can just forego the whole walking away portion and have this person meet societal consequences called the court of public opinion. So there you go. He is objectively wrong again, and whew, he's really diving it deep. So we're going to basically be answering Parker here and correcting this false belief that he has, and basically pointing out that it's wrong objectively, and how he is operating right now on subjective truth, not objective facts. He's placing all burden of proof on his debate opponent here to prove the moral justification for using slurs and stuff. So let's get into it.
shouldn't say a slur.
Why?
Why do you think that's okay to
Freedom of
do?
speech. Because it's freedom.
Wait, that's a legal right, not a moral right.
Yeah, but it's a freedom.
So that's
of
not a
speech.
moral justification. So what is your moral justification for the use of slurs?
There we go. What is the moral justification for the use of slurs? I can give that to you right now. From a moral and ethical perspective, individuals are justified in speaking freely because autonomy and personal responsibility are core ethical values. The act of expressing ideas, even offensive ones, respects the speaker's freedom while placing moral responsibility on listeners to choose their engagement. Philosophers like John Stuart Mill argued on liberty that society benefits when ideas, even unpopular or provocative ones, can be expressed without punishment because suppressing them stifles truth, learning, and critical debate. Similarly, thinkers like Voltaire championed the principle of free expression, famously asserting the importance of defending the right to say things we may find disagreeable. In practice, this moral framework means someone can speak harsh truths, critiques, or controversial opinions without ethical fault, while others retain the agency to ignore, debate, or disengage, creating a system where freedom of expression coexists with personal responsibility. So there's your answer. There's your moral justification as to why people should be allowed to use slurs, why people should be allowed to say controversial things and talk about stuff other people find disagreeable, and why it should be a moral right. Because at the end of the day, Parker cannot justify on a meaningful, objective metric that slurs or speech that people find disturbing or unpopular or whatever should be banned. There's no justification for that. Well, I shouldn't say there's no justification for it. It's just that the level of measurable harm caused by words is so minuscule when people have the autonomy and freedom to walk away and ignore what people say. So, there you go. He is probably objectively wrong about what he's going to say here. So let's listen to it and then respond right away.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say is like it's alleged. It's not proven.
If 26 plus people have accused someone of misconduct, that's a very good reason to believe that they did this. Do you believe Jesus rose from the dead?
So, very good reason. That's not proof. You see, burden of proof in most legal systems, the prosecution must prove the crime beyond a reasonable doubt, especially in criminal cases. So accusations alone, especially 26 of them or whatever, don't meet this standard. The court needs evidence that can be examined, tested, and cross-checked for it to qualify and meet the standard, which words alone, like he did this, is not evidence, and it doesn't qualify as evidence either. So it may qualify for investigation, but it does not qualify on its own for burden of proof. And it doesn't prove the crime beyond a reasonable doubt. So, yeah, he's objectively wrong about how 26 people accusing him of the same thing is a good enough reason when it's actually not. It's a good enough reason for an investigation, but it's not a good enough reason for prosecution.